What's up, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with Tesla SPY in the overall market. I'm also going to break down some big news that came out involving Apple and Tesla, which you should be watching for as time progresses. Which is notes that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. Deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 in total. Not to mention 8.1% APY on uninvested cash. This offer ends in just 2 weeks, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, looking at Tesla, as you guys can see, we had this tough resistance at this 230 area, and we haven't been able to crack through this. They're starting to dip a little bit. So if we don't break through that, there might be a little bit of a dip coming to Tesla in the broader markets, especially because Apple is selling off right now. And it's kind of a big effect on the broader markets too. So I'll talk more about that in just a couple of minutes. I'm going to break down why there might be a little bit of a dip coming. So the first thing worth mentioning is that today is Monday, September 16th, 2024. There's not really much data that came out before the market has opened, but I just want to say that 2 hours after market opened at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the 3 and 6 month bill auctions coming out. Look for some volatility around that time. Besides that, we have the Fed coming out. We are fed up with the Fed, but they are going to be coming out on Wednesday for the FOMC meeting, which Jerome Powell giving a speech. So we're going to be looking to see what this leads to. Markets do think there's going to likely be a either 25 or 50 basis point cuts, possibly a 50 basis point cut. We'll see about that. When it comes to other pieces of news, I didn't see anything else that was too crazy that was going on that I'm going to be like speaking about. But I just want to say that I really hope that our political leaders are safe, no matter which side they're on. Uh, Besides that, there was a lot of news that came out over the weekend, pretty crazy stuff. Besides that, looking at Apple also has some big news that came out. There's some reports coming out that suggest that we're going to be looking for a slowdown potential iPhone 16 demand. And that's some big news because of the fact that with potential sales slowing for Apple, with all these different factors affecting our economy, this is leading to it already kind of like selling off. This is happening as a result of what many studies have been suggesting about this, and also the fact that the iPhone units that have been sold so far are actually below what we saw compared to the iPhone 15 launch. So we're actually down about 12.7%. And on top of this, there's been a lot of talk about how iPhone demand and even like phone demand, at least across the globe, is starting to slow down. That's what some studies have been suggesting. So because their sales are a little bit lower than before, that's fueling a big sell-off in Apple right now, and that is likely going to affect the markets. So, or at least it's going to be used that way as an excuse. As far as Tesla goes, there's some news coming out about how demand in Europe is once again slowing down. There's been a lot of talk about that. They're also talking about how in BMW's demand has been going up quite a bit, and it's once again competing with Tesla. I'm not too worried about that, but there is a lot of talk coming out right now about how the sales in Europe are slowing down a little bit, especially because of the fact that there was a lot of talk about increases in tariffs. The rate at which tariffs have gone up is also slowing down in Europe for Tesla in the EV sector. But once again, it's not really changing the effects it's already had, as the overall sales are now slowing down in areas such as Germany and also in France. Just wanted to call that out. It has lots to do with interest rates and other factors like that. There's also some talk about the supercharger network. So far, there's data that's suggesting that from May through August, sales are down. Not sales, but the new supercharger ports that are opening, that's slowing down by about 28% compared to the same period last year. So this is slowing down for the time being. Hopefully, we get a big increase later on, but for now, it is slowing. So I just wanted to call that out. So what are we seeing for Tesla? Basically, this 230 area is a tough resistance, followed by 235. We could be looking for a potential pop and then maybe a dip upon open. Look for 228 as key support. If that fails us, we're looking for our 20 EMA. It's 226.5, followed by 225. And if that fails us, we're dipping all the way down to 222. So Tesla has this tough resistance in this 230 to 235 area. We'll see if Tesla could hold above 235 or not. Otherwise, we're at risk of kind of chopping around, maybe seeing a dip later on to 228 or below. So I do see a risk of Tesla dipping just a little bit lower with the broader markets. So be careful, guys. I want to give you guys a heads up about that. Apple is what took a big hit after the news has come out that their iPhone 16 demand is slowing down. We're barely at this 217 area. If that does not hold for Apple, we're looking for 215 to eventually the 210s, which are going to be coming. If we hold 217, look at resistance at 219 and 222. So far, Apple's selling off, and there is a risk of it selling off more as we're building some weakness. And this could actually have a big effect on the market. For SPY, we pushed all the way up to about 563 yesterday. Not yesterday, last week on Friday, so the last trading day. But the issue with SPY is that historically we do reject between 563 and 565 every time we hit those levels. So this is a tough resistance, and we'll see how SPY holds up here. If it does not break and hold above 563, it is possibly shuffle up here a little bit before we see a little bit of a dip right here towards that 560 area, if not 558. If that fails us, then we'll see if we bounce off those levels. But there could be a dip into the lower 560s if we don't hold above at least 562. So just keep that in the back of your guys' minds. There might be a little bit of a dip for SPY as Apple's selling off before we try to rebound. So it might just be a small dip. It doesn't have to be that significant, but there is a risk of that. Looking at ES, we need to reclaim 5630. Otherwise, we're at risk of dipping to the lower 5600s. If that fails us, we're looking for 5590, then 5562. I do see a risk of this dipping lower for now, so we'll see how things end up going. So be very, very mindful of that. For Nvidia, we are dipping as well. We called this out in my video yesterday. We're looking at 118's resistance. If that does not hold, we're coming back down to these EMAs closer to the 115 area. If that doesn't hold, we're going down towards this imbalance around the 111 area. So watch that 115 zone as our main support area, followed by 111. We might be dipping towards 115. We'll see if we bounce or not. So watch to see if that ends up being the case. For Bitcoin's once again dipping. We're looking at basically 57 or 58,000 is our support. If that fails us, we're dipping back down towards 57,800, followed by 57,000 flat. I could see this dip a little bit more before it tries to rebound. I called this out yesterday in my tip, and that's what's happening so far. So if it doesn't hold 58,400, look for a bigger dip on Bitcoin. For NQ, we're starting to dip a little bit. We had 19,600 as resistance. I said that it might either push to here and then reject, or even reject right over here if we don't hold 19,500. Lo and behold, that's what's happening. So we're looking at 19,334 as our support. If the 19,300s don't hold, we're looking for 19,100. We'll see if we bounce or not. Excuse me. We look like we have some potential to dip. QQQ is also dipping. We called out 477 in my video yesterday. Between there and 475, we had some tough resistance. We're looking at 473 as support. If that does not hold, we're going to be dipping back down towards potentially even 468 could be coming before we try to bounce again. But there might be a little bit of a dip coming to this. Apple's leading the way down. We're barely holding 217. If it does not hold, this could be dipping lower and dragging the market down. For the IWM, I called out 218 in my video yesterday, and I said that if we hold above that, look for more upside. If we kind of hit that and reject, there might be a small dip coming to fill this gap. So now we're coming down to about 216.6. If that doesn't hold, we're looking for 215. But overall, might see a little bit of a dip. For Amazon, we're looking for 186 as support. If it doesn't hold, we're looking for 184, but then we could bounce off that support. Might be a small dip to 184 to 183 before it tries to rebound. But overall, it's still doing a decent job at holding up. It's not that bad. Meta is just flat right now. I think we're just going to consolidate for a bit. We could be retesting 520, then bouncing, just continuing to consolidate for the time being. That's all I'm seeing for the time being as well. For Microsoft, we're looking at 430. If we hold above this, we could push higher. If not, we're looking for 427. So we're stuck in the middle. There is a small risk of us dipping. For Google, it's the same thing. We're looking for 160's resistance. So if it doesn't break through that, we're looking for 157. And if that fails, we're looking for 155. So watch those levels very carefully, and we'll see how things end up going. So with that being said, guys, as far as Tesla goes, Tesla's been trying to push, but look at that 230 area as a tough resistance. As the broader markets start dipping with Apple potentially selling off, this could drag Tesla lower. We could be looking for a test of 228 or even below this for today before it tries to rebound again. Might be a small dip. We'll see if 225 holds. If not, look for 222, 220, then even this trend line down here. But I do see a small dip coming potentially to Tesla in the market. Then we'll see if we bounce or not. So be careful, guys. The market is slowing as we got some bad news involving Apple, and the market is once again due for that based off technicals as well. Thank you for listening, guys. This is my warning for the time being. I'll see you guys very soon in another update video in a couple of hours. Until then, take care and peace out.